What is going on, everyone? It is Dylan here. I did plan on releasing the gold players first, but I liked a lot of silver players, and their prices are a lot better than some of the gold players I have targeted right now. Um, so we're going to start with silver players. First player is Ryan Mountcastle. If you did watch the last video, I did throw him in as a bonus pick along with Cedric Mullins and Mancini. So if you look at Mountcastle's stats this season, they're nothing that really stand out or anything to go crazy about. But he was a highly touted prospect. He still is what the Orioles consider their future, one of the future pieces to their organization. So I always like those young talent. 24 years old. He's got a 75 overall, so he's not somebody that I expect in this next roster update to go gold unless he starts putting up even crazier numbers. But I'll just read off his numbers and let you guys decide. So on the season, he is batting 266 with a 298 on base percentage, 12 home runs, 41 RBIs, 31 runs. If you look at his last 30 games, though, here's his numbers. He's got a 327 batting average, 367 on base percentage, 9 home runs, 25 RBIs, 18 runs. So as you can see, it seemed like he had a pretty slower start, and it looks like he's getting a little more comfortable. But yeah, so 75 overall, and the reason he stands out to me as more of a longer term investment, but still somebody to invest in right now. You can create a buy order for about 185 stubs, or just buy him clean for 250 stubs. So cheap player at that, and yeah, he is the first person that we're targeting. All right, guys, the next player we are targeting, SeanMinnea. The reason we're targeting him is his numbers. It just seems like he's just getting better and better as the season goes on. He has a really good strikeout rate, so we'll read off his stats right now. So on the season, he is 6-4 with a 2.91 ERA. He does have a complete game shutout. He has 92 innings pitched, 96 strikeouts, and a 1.2 WHIP. So his numbers look really impressive. Reading off his last 7 games. So his last 7 games, he's 3-2 with a 1.24 ERA, 43 innings pitched, 48 strikeouts, and a 1.05 WHIP. So his numbers are really, really impressive right now. 76 overall. So yet again, somebody that I can maybe see him hitting gold. I don't think it's going to happen. Could easily see the bump to a 78, 79. So he's more of a long-term investment, but still, the reason being, look at his price. So another cheap player. You can create a buy order for about 215 stubs, or just buy him clean for about 234. He's, in my opinion, way too cheap for the numbers that he's putting up. So it's definitely somebody else that I'm targeting for future investment. All right, guys. The next player that we have targeted is Tyler Mahle. The reason that I'm targeting him, you can look at his ERA, and his ERA is not impressive at all. On the season, he's got a 3.56 ERA, so it's still below the 4.0. It's below his career average, but it's below 4, but still not to where you're super confident of. But he's 7-2 on the season. 78 innings pitched and 98 strikeouts. So his strikeouts per innings pitched is really crazy, and he's got a 1.14 WHIP. So it seems to me like he doesn't allow a whole lot of base runners, but when he does, it seems that they kind of get brought in. But he's a 78 overall, so he just needs a +2 boost. He is somebody that I'm more targeting for short-term investment, somebody that I can buy a lot of right now and then sell him once he hits gold and not hold him for a longer term. So yeah, you look at his stub prices. You can create a buy order for about 300 stubs and just buy him out clean for 350. If it tries to justify it a little more, in his last 7 games, he's 5-1 with a 4.33 ERA. So, like I said, his ERA is still up there, but he has 35 innings pitched and 46 strikeouts, and his WHIP is a 1.13. So, like I said, it's just the problem of allowing runs, but other than that, his numbers look great besides his ERA. All right, guys, I have two closers actually to talk about, and Will Smith is probably a more short term, and Brad Hand is more of a long term, just because of the overall. So I'll read off their numbers right now. Brad Hand is 4-2 with a 2.61 ERA. 16 for 18 in saves and saves opportunities, 31 innings pitched, 30 strikeouts, and a 1.16 WHIP. So his numbers don't stand out as like crazy numbers, but he's tied for seventh. Brad Hand and Will Smith are both tied for seventh in saves right now. And you look at the last 30 days, or that's about 10 to 15 games. Brad Hand actually went on a pretty good streak of, I think, getting like 4 straight games of saves. But Brad Hand is 8 for 8 in his last 12 games. 12 and 2/3 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, a .95 WHIP. Will Smith on the season, like I said, he is tied with Brad Hand, 7th in saves. He is 1-5, so I think they've recently moved him to the full closer. I could be mistaken, but I believe that's what it was. Anyway, he's 16 for 17 in save opportunities, 31 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, and a 1.07 WHIP. And for him, for 30 days, he's liking to tie Brad Hand, so he's got 8 out of 9 save opportunities, 12 and 2/3 innings pitched, but he does have 16 strikeouts and a .79 WHIP. So both of them you can get really cheap right now. Brad Hand you can get for about 120 stubs, or buy him clean for about 185. Will Smith about 210 for a buy order, and about 275, 270 to buy him clean. So definitely two guys I'm targeting. Alright, guys, the last player I'm targeting, and yes, I know his price is up there, but I'm really hoping Kyle Schwarber in the future hits diamond. As a former Cubs player, I was a big fan of Kyle Schwarber. It sucked to see him leave, but him and Javi Baez were almost the same players hitting wise. But it's nice to see Kyle Schwarber shine again, and I hope he continues on this trend. He is hitting ridiculous as of late, and that's where roster update investments come in handy. So right now in the season, Kyle Schwarber soared all the way up to 4th in home runs. He's got 22 home runs, 50 RBIs, 35 runs. He's got a batting average of 253 and an on-base percentage of 336. So the average and on-base don't stand out, but the amount of home runs he's hit lately, it's just undenying of him going to gold. I do think he's going to go gold. I do think he has a potential to maybe hit diamond towards later the season, but I'm just really hoping for the gold soon. So his last 27 games, he's got 14 home runs, 28 RBIs, batting 289 with a 355 on base percentage. So he is just hitting the ball lights out. Definitely somebody that I'm targeting, investing in, holding more for the diamond than I am the gold. So we'll see how it pans out. But if you want someone that's a 99.9% going to diamond in the next roster update, it's probably going to be Kyle Schwarber.